So don't not talk about what you want to say. Say it, and be assured the Dutch people like it brutal. So they will take it. They want to hear you say the truth and what you really want. That's what I would advise the next year.
Welcome to Hello, Future Speaking, the podcast where the future speaks. The future is not just a distant concept. It's being shaped by the actions and the voices of young people today. On this show, we will give you a platform to the leaders, innovators, and change makers of tomorrow. Listen in as we explore the hopes, dreams, and challenges of the youth in our communities and hear firsthand how they are working to shape a better future for all of us. So join us as we take a deep dive into the minds and the hearts of the next generation. This is Hello, Future Speaking. What do you get when you put 10 young leaders that simply cannot stop talking into a room together? You get the Youth Advisory Committee of the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And in that same breath, I want to welcome my dear colleagues of the YAC to this episode of the podcast, where we're going to talk about, meaningful participation, the YAC itself, and how we see the Youth Advisory Committee forwarding in the future. So welcome to our one and a very special guest, Sam, the project coordinator, who is going to be, I think he's going to be getting a lot of the blats that we talk today, because of course, Sam is not a young person. So him being in this podcast is quite, what do you guys think about that? It's quite interesting, but welcome, Sam. We have also Grace, and of course myself, Kevin Eustacia. So for some context for the listeners here, the Youth Advisory Committee is a pilot program started in the year 2021 to 2022, which gathers a group of 10 young change makers from throughout North Africa, the Middle East, and the Horn of Africa to basically advise the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on their foreign policy, especially from a youth lens. So this project has been going on for, I think, 14 months now. We've learned a lot. We've recently heard that it's going to be extended, which is great news. Hand applause. So I think it will be, it's at its place to have a short evaluation to see, how we started as a YAC, how we're doing, and what we see in the future. So first and foremost, I want to know, where did you guys get the advertisement to, to apply? Where did you guys get it?
Yeah, I think for me, it was Twitter.
Really?
I got tagged. This one person was tagged 10 people. Was like, guys, apply for this, because the embassy posted it on their page. And I saw it, I read it, I was like, okay. Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Yeah, why not? But at the same time, it was like, I honestly didn't think it would be this fun.
Yeah, okay.
I just thought it would look good on a CV, full stop. But I didn't think it would look this fun. That means I feel amazing that I feel like whoever tagged me, I don't remember who that is. I just want to call them and can I buy you a drink? Or can I?
Yep.
Because this is good experience, and I think I'll never forget this experience ever.
No, literally, I found the advertisement on LinkedIn actually. I don't know who shared it, but whoever did, he deserves to get a big hug, because wow, this experience has literally changed my life for the better. I think, December 2021 will forever be, the time where my career started. Basically, I think all of us the boost that my career got from joining the YAC has been, exponential. It's been truly amazing. So I'm super happy. And what the thing I was remember that we all received, of course, the email saying we got accepted. And Ilya, the project manager at the time, said that 850 people applied.
Yeah.
And I read that. I was like, I know you're lying. Because how did I get accepted from 850 people? That was quite, how did you guys feel about that?
I think I received that email when I did not have internet connection, because I'm from Sudan, and when the whole process of interview, I think because we had 2 stages, one was the application and the second was the interview. So when we got that email, I had no internet connection, and I basically had to walk several blocks to find some governmental office Wi-Fi that I can just steal on the side. Very shady, but very worth it when I saw the email. And I was like, oh shit, my interview is today. I already missed my interview. What am I going to do? So I think I had a lot of conversation with Elia via email, back and forth. She had a lot of conversation with the ministry about what can we do about this girl who just has no access to internet, but she made it to the second stage. And I think I'm so grateful it was a life-changing experience, and I'm forever grateful for Elia for putting up with me and the whole month-long, basically back and forth conversation.
Yeah, so guys, we've had our first meetup week in June of 2022, but now we are currently in the Netherlands again for a second meetup week. It's been snowing. I think all of us are extremely depressed from the snow. I slipped and almost fell, I think, a total of 14 times, if I'm counting correctly. So I fear this is not my weather, but how are you guys experiencing winter for the first time and seeing snow for the first time?
Yeah, I think this is my first time ever witnessing snow, and as brutal as I thought it would be, it was much more. And I don't think I would have ever been emotionally or mentally prepared for that. I think I always had a conversation about how the coldest temperature that I've ever witnessed in my country was 23, and I had 3 layers, and I thought I was dying. So I don't think I can handle the 3 and the minus. It's just insane.
Yeah, I can imagine. But apart from the horrible weather, I think we've had a quite interesting meetup week. We have some days filled with a lot of information. For example, the training we've had from Choice, and also the ministry day, which was incredibly long. But I think we've had so much things happening during the day. So Grace, how was it like being at the ministry yesterday?
Yeah, sure. Before that, I first want to thank Sam, who's also here, for organizing the second meetup. And I'm actually interested in knowing how Sam got to this position.
True.
Yeah.
Sam is old, so I think we have to remind the audience. Sam is the project manager for the YAC, the one, behind all of this. So I think a huge applause for Sam, but also, Sam, we'd love to hear that.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I feel particularly old now. How I joined the YAC. This is a very boring story because it's literally just going to be the position got open because of Ilya.
Yeah, he applied. That's it.
But did you apply for it? And what did you think before? What were your expectations?
I knew the project from the outside from Ilya, and it always seemed like a very interesting project. But I think with many projects and jobs from the outside, you never really know what it really is. And
the amazing group that you will be working with.
Exactly. 9 amazing people and Rawan.
8 and Rawan is Sinan.
Sinan is okay.
Well, thank you.
No, the process has been amazing for me, to be honest. It's a great group of people, very ambitious, very nice, very diverse. This is the first time I work in an international context with different people from many different countries. And I feel like it's very enriching. It is putting me more on a path of knowing where I want to go, like career-wise, which I really, really like. So I am enjoying it fully, although I'm absolutely knackered from the 14-hour days I've been making. So after 2 nights of good sleep, I think I'll be very, very happy.
Ilya took a whole 2 weeks?
Yeah, it was a long time.
2 whole weeks.
Yeah, but Ilya is... I don't need that.
Oh my God.
No,
okay.
The cool brother.
Yeah, he's the weird uncle. I've heard.
The cool weird uncle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But going back to the 14-hour days.
That's what every weird uncle thinks.
What?
That's what every weird uncle thinks.
Yeah, they think they're cool, right?
Right?
Yeah. But anyways, going back to the 14-hour days, I think all of us we're nowhere, as they say in the... Oh, I don't know what they say in Dutch, actually. I know what they say in my language. But...
what do they say in your language?
They say, but it's like on the fruit of the plantashi. It's like you're getting the fruits of your own plants, basically. Okay. So we were ripening. Is that how you say it? Ripening the fruits from his hard work. So I think all of us have realized, those hard days, long days really paid off because we've been having an amazing time here, except the snow. I think you should have done a better job stopping the snow.
And the food, Kevin. Let's not forget about the food.
Well, what about the food?
I mean, we had to deal with the Dutch food. I don't think it was the best decision out there. But yeah, I think we are struggling with the snow and the Dutch food hand in hand.
I think the Netherlands is world renowned for having food, but in a bad way.
Exactly.
I fear. But but anyway, so guys, the YAC has been we've recently heard that it's going to be a long-term project, and I think all of us are really excited. But I think, what does the future hold, do you guys think? So I think, Sam, for you first, on a higher level management, what does the future of the YAC look like?
Ideally, the YAC can focus on a wider spectrum of themes, I would say. I think we've learned so much in the past year and a half within the pilot phase, and I think now it's really key for the lessons that we have learned to imply them in the tracks we're doing with the ministry. I think the YAC is a very, very good tool to bring the voice of young people really within the policy-making cycles of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Just that we are continuing means that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs actually sees this. They understand that it's really important. We have learned so many things in the past year and a half, which we are going to use, we're going to imply, and therefore I think we can have even more impact than we did during the pilot phase. But I'm also really wondering what do you guys think? Do you think the experience we've had will build on more impact in the future?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think one of the things I'm looking most forward to for the future of the YAC is welcoming the newest members, because I think a pillar of meaningful youth participation is always, of course, having more young people involved to get even more impact and more feedback. And I think when we started, it was quite a challenge to find your footing within the context of ministry, the National Dutch Youth Council and stuff like that. But I think now that we have quite some experience with this, we can actually hit the ground running when the second cohort hits. I think it's going to be, really a lot of things happening at the same time, I think, because, when we hit the ground running, we all know what we're going to do. We have a network within the ministry, so we know who to approach in terms of what this and that. I think also we can start building on the, as they say in Dutch, Sam, I hope you can help me, but the ongevraagde feedback, what was that? What would that be in English?
Well, I think we can translate it to the feedback they didn't ask for. So really put in the topics we've, or not, I shouldn't say we, that you find important. I think we had a very good cooperation with the ministry. They gave us a lot of room to move within the topics that they chose. But also, I think it would be amazing if you guys could put in a little bit more of the things you see within your countries of
origin.
Thank you. Within your countries of origin, and really put those on the agenda of the ministry. And I think the meetup weeks within the Netherlands is just like the meetup week we're at now is a very good moment to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I think agenda setting should be the key word for the new cohort of the YAC. But yeah, Grace, how do you see that?
Yeah, if I was told to choose when I wanted to join the YAC, knowing that it's gonna be easier for them because we learned so much, I would still choose to join at the beginning. Mainly because learning how working in a chaos kind of challenges me. You get to challenge yourself and force yourself to move out of the box in a way. And that was given to me here. And I love having such experiences myself, but it wasn't such a chaos. It was just room to innovate how you want to do it. Do it how you want to do it. And that's dangerous in terms of everyone has so many ideas. Yep. But at the same time, it's everyone has so many ideas. It could be both. Yeah. But so I think the next YAC has to now we've laid such a huge foundation, and we're in first floor at least. It's far. The foundation in the first floor. That means we've learned how the systems work. We've learned how policy officers work. It's hard to deal with politicians because often you could say a lot, but if it doesn't meet the priorities and what they prioritize, I think because as a government itself, it's tricky. So I can't wait to tell this the next yak. I can't wait to tell them it's going to be fun. And I would ask them to be brutal as we are. And like, if anything, we need to make sure that the fire continues. And I'm glad that it will. And it will because it was a good fire. It was a good experience for both sides. And I'm happy, so happy that we're seeing the fruits of our labor, and we'll even see it in the next yak as well. We'll see it in them, and that for me is a great experience.
Exactly. I love that you said that. Yeah, Sam?
Sorry to take over your moderator role for just a second, but I really enjoy hearing you speak about the new yak and about the things you would want to give them, the knowledge. So a question to all three of you. What is like one tip for a new yak member to really take with them within their journey of being a member of the yak?
I'd say be as assertive and brutal as possible. And because we were kind of diplomatic, we kind of waited until we got the feedback. We kind of waited until the meeting was come up. We kind of waited until the documents came. But don't wait. That's what I would tell them. Like, ask for it. Ask where they are. Ask where the policy is. Ask why this is not being done. And demand for your answers. Demand for your place and push for it as much as you can. Mainly because the ministry is very much willing to listen. Mm-hmm. So don't not talk about what you want to say. Say it. And be assured the Dutch people like it brutal. So they will take it. They want to hear you say the truth and what you really want. That's what I would advise the next year.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what I was going to say was also really, really similar to Grace. But I think for me personally, and I know some of my colleagues also share this opinion, it's like in the beginning we were really doubting on how direct and how honest we should be in terms of talking to the ministry. Because, of course, the entire yak revolves around them. It's their decision if we're going to be continuing as a project. So I think we were kind of too tiptoeing around the issues. And I think what I would tell the yak is that, you're at the same level at the ministry. You shouldn't feel like they're your boss or you're like someone else. It's like, stand up for yourself, be completely honest. I remember the Director General for the International Cooperation, Kitty van der Heijden, said, be honest to the point of being rude. And I think that's what I would give to the following yak.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you. I think one thing that I would really like to not only give it to the next yak, but also just to young people in general is do not be afraid. I think just realizing that no one really knows what they're doing is a great starter, because sometimes you would doubt how valuable the feedback or the inputs or even the question that you wanted to provide is. But the reality is it's always something that will bring a new perspective, will add the new lenses of looking at the topic. So sometimes even the policy officers themselves don't know what they're working on, and yours will always be of value. Like, do not be intimidated. Do not think that your inputs won't matter. Do not feel like you're an imposter sitting in an area where everyone is so professional and knowledgeable, because most time is not the case. People really don't know what they're doing. People don't know how they got in here. So just might as well just swing it, freestyle it, and you will do great.
Just to emphasize on that point is context. As much as they could be experts in their fields, they honestly don't know what is happening in your country and in your context. I told the story of when we had a program, and for you to do the program, you have to bribe the government to do the workshop. And there's no funding agent that will tell you, yes, you cannot report that you paid bribe. That's against any UN regulation. But if you don't bribe, you cannot do the project. And at the same time, the effects and social issues that could vary from the Netherlands priorities themselves that matter so much on ground. So leaving that room to give our experience that are very, very, very different, that they could never have input. As much as they could write the policy, but the context and the society and the real realities on ground, that's what the yak brings in table that cannot be brought from anywhere else.
Exactly, that we are experts in our own lived experiences and our own lived realities, and not one single policy officer can tell the reality is from The Hague, for example. So I totally agree with that.
Exactly. I think that's a good quote to round off on. We are experts in our own reality. I think we often forget because, policy advisors and policy people at the ministry, they have master's degrees, they have PhDs. And, I think, we look at that one like, wow, what can I add to the conversation? But I think, what can't we add to the conversation? I think that should be the question we should move forward with. So I think that's a really nice way to round off this conversation about the YAC. I'm really looking forward to continuing our really amazing work with you guys. So yeah, here's to a nice 2023 and here's to a future filled with YAC activities. Thank you so much for joining, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us here.
This was Hello Future Speaking, the podcast all about youth by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs' Youth Advisory Committee. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.